You ever think about how strange candles are? I mean, you got this, like, glass jar full of wax that sometimes smells like something, sometimes it don't smell so much like anything. And, you burn it, you just burn it, and then it, like, releases gases and vapors and all sorts of, scents into, perfumes into your house or your apartment or your commune or your, studio, apartment, or whatever sort of residences that you might live in, like, you know, a cave, outside, in your car, RV. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. We all live wherever we want to live, and that's not, you know, that's not a thing that, well, we need to concern ourselves with, because we're all friends here. You know, we're all friends. We're all buddies. We're having fun, taking turns, rolling the dice. Picking up cards, putting them back down, looking at your watch, wondering how much longer you have to sit around and wait until your little gathering's over so you can go home and watch Game of Thrones, right? So, if that's what you're doing, then you're living your life like a normal human boy. Like a normal human adult boy. Child. Boy, adult. Is what you're living like. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being childish at heart, but sometimes you gotta know when to grow up. Sometimes you gotta know when to lay all your cards on the table. Sometimes you just gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You gotta know when to walk away and know when to run. There's no, I don't know the rest of that song. I was gonna try and go with it longer, the joke, you know, drag it out like one of those jokes where the joke is that you drag it out for so long that that then becomes the joke and not necessarily the thing itself that you were doing as the joke in the first place. But I forgot how the song goes, and that's, you know, that's my fault. I apologize if anyone is a big fan of that song or you know, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just here to I'm just here to deliver what I like to call comedy, you know. Not that I think that I'm funny or anything, but maybe it's just interesting for people to see how exactly how stupid other people can be, what lengths they go to make jokes and try to be like joke guys or comedians or whatever. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't really stick. You're throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. If it's not, like, if it's got a surface tension of, like, smaller than water, then it's not going to stick to the wall. Like, you know, eggs, they throw them at the wall, they're going to stick. You throw paint, it might stain the wall, but that's what paint's for, right? That's what paint does. It stains the wall. I wouldn't know. I never painted a house before. Isn't that something? I've never painted a house before. No, well, the outside of a house, I guess I should say. The inside of a house, I once spray painted a basement all black. I don't really remember why I did that. It seemed like a good idea at the time, and then we all, like, passed out because of the fumes of the spray paint, the aerosols, and the toxic fumes that emanate from the cans of spray paint. And you know what? It was really a bad idea. We kind of maybe made some bad choices in the past. You know, who didn't when they was younger? You know, who didn't make bad choices when they were little kids, little babies, even young adults, infants, people who wear diapers well into their teenagers because they never learn how to use the toilet, or they think that maybe there's some sort of witch living in the toilet. You know, I actually heard that that's something that they do over in India. Not that, I don't know if I believe it or not, but if it's true, then what I heard was basically that people in India, they shit in the streets, which I believe to be true. Not that it's unverified and I think that it's true, but I believe that I have heard that that is a verified fact, that people shit in the streets because they either don't have, like, running water, they don't have plumbing that works, or they don't, or they think there's a witch living in the toilet, because, you know, witches, they totally exist. Witches, if you've ever watched the Harry Potters, you know all about witches and wizards and wardrobes. And I think that was the right reference. That was the right thing to say. That wasn't completely asinine. That wasn't something that a normal person wouldn't have said, I don't believe. So thank you for just accepting that what I say is true. You know, I don't want to pretend that what I'm saying is true. If it's not true, it's not true. If it's true, it's true. But that's up to you. You got to verify your information. Now, here's the thing that I think a lot of people should do, but nobody does. And you know why I don't think people do that is because I think they're lazy. Now, that thing is, whenever you learn something new in the news, something you never knew before, like Oh gosh, I don't know. For example, if you didn't know that, alright, so, random example. Sarah Palin is the governor of Alaska. I don't know if she still is, but she was at the time she was running with John McCain in the 2008 presidential election. Yeah, I think that was right. So, she was running, and she was the governor of Alaska. And if you didn't know that already, and you heard that on the news, you'd be like, okay, yeah, okay, that's fine, that makes sense. But they could be lying to you, and they might be lying to you, even though they're not. Now, here's another, I thought of a good example, not a stupid, idiot example like what I just said. Here's a good example, is, I might have talked about this before, but they say that in your sleep, over the course of like a year or something, you eat 2 spiders, and actually that was never something that was verified to be true. It was actually a social experiment. They were testing to see how fast a rumor like that could spread, because, you know, eating spiders in your sleep, that's not necessarily something that you can just test. That's not something that you can, pardon me, go out of your way to test by yourself without some sort of rigorous... You have to like set up some sort of sleeping lab like what they got in Russia. You gotta find patients, you gotta have a control group, you gotta have people who sleep with duct tape over the mouth, people who don't sleep with duct tape over the mouth, and see how their results stack up at the end of the experiment, like the two-month experimentation period where the individuals come in every Thursday and Tuesday of the week to sleep in a bed, and you test them and look at, and you release spiders in the room when they're sleeping, and hope they don't wake up, because if they do, they're going to swat the spiders off of their body, and then they're going to ruin the experiment. The experiment will be ruined, and all of this research grant money will have been wasted on people who killed your spiders, and you don't want that. That's, you know what, that's the old saying, right? Don't waste your research grant on spiders, because people are just going to kill them. Remember that. That's a saying that they always used to say back when I was in trade school. They said, don't waste your research grant on spiders. And I think that's sound advice, even if it, maybe it's more contextual than you would think a saying like that would be. But it's like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? So, if you put all your eggs in one basket and you drop that basket, then you lose all your eggs. Now, if you put all your eggs in, like, 2 different baskets and you drop one of those baskets, then you only lose half of your eggs, right? So... it just makes sense. Actually, that might have been more of a metaphor than like an actual literal example of something that you should or should not do. Whether or not that saying originates from something that actually happens to a poor man who lost all of his eggs one time, I can't say for sure, because, you know, it's like one of those sayings that's been around forever. You know, where did it really start? It's more anecdotal than like factual, you know. And anecdotes are okay. They make conversations easier, especially if you have nothing really to add or say, or just if you don't really feel like having an actual conversation, you can just say something like "c'est la vie," which means I think it means, it's French for to live. It's French for to live, I believe. And if it's not, I apologize. But if it is, then I'm right. But people say that, c'est la vie, especially in rom-coms. If you ever watched a rom-com with Nicole Kidman, like Just Go With It, which also features Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler and Nick Swartz, and then you know all about rom-coms. That's how I learned. I learned from the greats, like Adam Sandler and Nicole Kidman. They're really good at rom-coms. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to nail that into your brain with my mouth and my words. And then you'll know that I wasn't just making up things like I sometimes might do. I don't really know. It's never, you know, sometimes you just start talking and you never really stop, you know. You probably have a grandpa like that. And that's really what I aims to do with this channel, is be like your surrogate grandpa. That's right. I'm your surrogate grandpa. I bet you didn't know that. Now you do. You learn something new every day. That's fine. You can take that to the bank. I will not contest. I will not contest. If you want to call me Grandpa SparkleDart, go right ahead. I won't stop you. I promise. This is, but if you're gonna do that for any reason other than just out of convention, then please leave it up to you and God. Because if you want to do that as like a weird sexual, like fetish type stuff, I'm not into that. I can't get behind you on that one, and I refuse to let you get behind me either. So, c'est la vie, right? That's what I was saying. I brought it back. It came full circle. It's called a bookend, and that's what I did. Thank you. I apologize. I don't know what I apologize for. Yeah, I still got some time. I'm gonna do them. I'm gonna do the next one. I'll do the next one, and then we'll call it good. Okay? I hope you're okay with that, because that's what I'm doing. You don't even have a choice in the matter. If you wanted to, have a say in what I do, you don't. Oh, no, I joke. I joke. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in my Dropbox. I'll be sure to look at them. Leave them on my forum spring. Leave them on my my LinkedIn, my Twitter, which I do have. I do have a Twitter, but I don't really use it. So if you want to talk to me on Twitter, you're gonna have to pester me on. Gosh, there's really no good way to get a hold of me. Sorry, that's just the life that I live. I'm very sheltered. I'm a very sheltered man. I live inside of a shack that I call my apartment bedroom. I call it the shack. That's my like pet name for it. It's not like. Ooh, nice. Okay, it's not like a shack that you would live in like a forest. It's like I named it after Shaquille O'Neal, my favorite sports athlete, if you were, or I mean my favorite sports celebrity, if you were. Because if you go to the store and pick up a box of Fruity Pebbles, there's a picture of Shaquille O'Neal on it, and it says, "You can meet up with your favorite sports celebrity, Shaquille O'Neal." And I'm like, well, wouldn't that just be an athlete? You can just say athlete instead of sports celebrity. But then I remember that he was actually in a couple of movies. He was trying to do the Michael Jordan thing for a while back in the 90s when Michael Jordan would be in movies. Like, it's like when somebody becomes like a joke in and of themselves, then they start to like appear in movies and stuff. Like I don't know. I'm so bad at this. I'm bad with actors and stuff. But Shaquille O'Neal, he was in a movie called Shazam, I believe. It was about a basketball genie, and he wore a shower cap, and it was funny. It was like the live-action black version of Aladdin, except instead of Robin Williams, who's not black, it was Shaquille O'Neal, who is black. You know, that's how you got to do it. That's how it makes sense to do it that way. So if you've got a problem with that, then you can take it up with the NBA, because they allowed him to make such a movie as that. Not to say that Shazam was a bad movie, but I mean, how many people really watch? Like, people still watch Space Jam, even if it's on ironic camp value, they still watch it. But I don't think anybody's really all that gung-ho about Shazam. Or maybe it was called Kazam, I don't really remember. It was such a long time ago. You know, I actually had a Shazam lunchbox. It was purple, and it had a Shaquille O'Neal on it. And people were always like, "Did you like that movie?" I'm like, I don't remember watching it. I really don't. I watched it in movie theaters with my parents, and then I forgot all about it. It's like that movie Cats and Dogs from 2002. That was a good movie. Go watch Cats and Dogs. It was a good movie. So, anyways, thank you for sticking around. This has been SparkleDart. Goodbye. Mwah.